Hello and welcome back to Ops with Void. I'm your host Forgotten Void, and today we are going to go over steel ships. Not how to steal ships, but steel ships in general. So we'll go ahead and go to the armory. Pick this up on the way. And going to ships, we're going to go to steel. And, okay, so, these are the steel ships I have. Mecklenburg, Bourgogne, Stalingrad, Plymouth, and Ragnar. So Ragnar is a PvP ship, not so much for ops. Although I have run it, and it is interesting running it, but it's not so much for ops. Plymouth is, well, it's a worse Minotaur. You get radar, but for the most part, it's worse than Minotaur. So I absolutely recommend Minotaur over Plymouth. Or Stalingrad. Stalingrad is good both PvP and in ops. The the accurate guns do well. It's high AP damage, and it's tanky. So, but honestly, Moskva is probably better because that's better DPM. So, yeah, if you get Moskva, get Moskva. Bourgogne. Bourgogne is really fun. It's EVP. It is really fun. Like I actually had a couple really fun and some really good games with Bourgogne. She's squishy, but she's fun, and so that's why I started out with her. Mecklenburg is also fun. Mecklenburg has really accurate guns. They're small at 305s. But having 16 305s, you get a lot of shells. And then because they're 305s on a battleship hull, they reload within 20 seconds. Okay. And let me go to Mecklenburg. So, yeah, right now it's 22.9 seconds with this setup. And then with skills, you will be able to get 140 main battery hits with Mecklenburg. And then we have the close quarter combat, so that you have even more DPM at close quarters. So you can get it easily under 19 seconds with that and Adrenaline Rush. And yeah. Back to the armory. So slow. Wargaming. So those are the ships I have. Of the ships I have, like these three, specifically these two, I recommend. Bourgogne is an Alsace, tier 9 Alsace, up tiered to tier 10, gets better accuracy. I'm not sure if it's the Sigma or just dispersion is increased, but slightly better accuracy, and it has the reload booster. The main battery booster really helps, and you can get devastating salvos. And you actually get a good boost of DPM because of that. And that actually makes it better than the tier 10 because because of the high DPM and the high shell count, you have both alpha and DPM with Bourgogne. And same with Mecklenburg, and that's why these two are really good. They have both alpha and DPM. Vallejo has DPM. It's a Worcester minus... Is it minus a turret or... Yeah, I believe it's Worcester minus a turret at tier 9. No radar, no hydro, but you get you get a spotter plane that takes off a lot. And that may sound bad, except it's a light cruiser, and so you get nice DPM. It actually does well because you actually have good DPM. And at tier 9, because it's tier 9, it gets the improved it gets improved money making skill. It's the only steel ship that gets improved money making. So if you need money, actually Vallejo's pretty good there. Z42 is just no. Subs aren't allowed into ops at the moment. Austin, if you like Atlanta and you like the high risk, high reward playstyle, then it's good with the with its funny button. But that wouldn't be my first choice. Commissar is just no. It's PvP. Yeah, it has its uses with its planes, but not so much in the current one. And same thing, FDR. It just doesn't have DPM. The carriers, you need DPM, and while it has the big flights, there's just so much flak in these ops with all the ships bunched together that it's not worth bringing a carrier, especially one with large, slow squadrons that slowly regenerate and take forever after making a strike to make another strike. It's Svea. Svea I have not actually used, but considering it's a 9-gun light cruiser, make it 4.5-second reload. Oh, sorry, not 9-gun. I'm sorry, that's a 7-gun light cruiser. I would say Vallejo, take Vallejo over her. Yes, she has torpedoes, but I mean, they're squeaky toys. 10k damage per torp. That's 40k per side if you hit all four. Before torpedo protection is taken in. She's more of a PvP because of her consumables. Having radar and a short smoke burst. She's a cap contester cruiser because of being stealthy and having consumables to force out destroyers. On to the big guns. So Loria, Shikishima, and Incomparable. Let's go in increasing gun size order. So Loria has 4 sets of 457s. You have a base 30-second reload, which means, you're going to get to like 26 seconds or so, 26, 27-second reload. And the nice thing is you don't overpen. The bad thing is her armor layout. You get like against HE, all of this 32 millimeter. The rear half, yeah, that's nice and protected against a lot of ships, except you have this nice 32 millimeter HE trap here, your superstructure HE trap, and all of this is a mostly. So when I say HE trap, I'm referring to any heavy cruisers that will pen 34 millimeters. German heavy cruisers and Japanese super heavy cruisers are all going to pen the 35, the 50 millimeter stuff. So it has an interesting armor scheme, but it is so weak to battleship armor piercing. It is very easy to citadel, and it requires bad turret angles to get all 4 of your turrets off. So you're going to get citadel, you're going to burn. It's not a very survivable ship. Interesting concept, yes. The sap that doesn't overpen is nice. It's better for PvP than PvE because in PvE, in ops specifically, the ships get boosted HP, and you're not slapping your ships like a battleship could. You're taking a nice chunk off them, but you're not actually putting them down where they belong. Okay, Incomparable with I believe Incomparable is next with 508 millimeter guns. So you only have 3 turrets, and this is a long ship with 3 turrets. And where is it? The HE is nice, like 85 millimeters penetration, but I don't think you actually have the improved. Actually, no, you don't have improved British HE, and so you just actually don't use British HE. You just use armor piercing because your armor piercing is going to do more damage to destroyers, to cruisers, to anything than your high explosive is. Especially since you overmatch everything. You overmatch 32. I'm not sure what that is. Someone can say what Shikishima overmatches that Incomparable doesn't. But anyways, yeah, this both Shikishima and Incomparable, you just use armor piercing all the time. That's it. You get torpedoes, not that you're actually going to use them that much. They are here on the deck. You get them, but not going to use them. The key features that Incomparable gets that are really nice are the hydroacoustic search, the short range, so both ships and torpedoes detected at 3 kilometers. Really nice. And the British specialized repair teams, or known as Super Heal. So, and the speed boost. Like, the consumables are really, really nice, even though you have low DPM. Low DPM, the guns are meh. Your armor scheme is meh. But the consumables are nice. On to the biggest gun, Shikishima. So Shikishima is just your model, but worse. So 510, so just 2 millimeters larger than Incomparable. 510 millimeter guns. You have them in 3 turrets. It is basically a model hull with slightly more armor. Same amount of HP, but yeah, just slightly more armor at the 410 instead of 380. I think that's the difference. No, I think it's the same, but and then Satsuma gets the 480. Anyways, so nice 50 millimeter deck, but the side is just all 32 millimeters, so you're going to be burned. You're going to be squished and burned and burned and burned, and you have the your cheeks that are vulnerable to armor piercing, all 4 of them. So yeah, you can see the angles where you just pen right through those cheeks, and so it's very vulnerable. Your 27-second reload, so you have a better reload, but it's still no. So of the 2 big guns, I would go with I'd go with Incomparable because it has a bit more use. But that's not my first choice. My first choice would be Bourgogne or Mecklenburg or Stalingrad, and then Vallejo and Austin, and then maybe Incomparable, and Shikishima is still a hard choice, hard to justify. Now, if you think why I'm doing so hard, I've actually played in some of those ships because I have another account now that I am an official wiki editor, and with this, we'll go ahead and see how Incomparable plays in an op. So, as you can see, there are 4 battleships in this, so we're just one of the 4 battleships. We're already loading armor piercing instead of high explosive because we're not going to use high explosive on them. Let's see. So we have the Kirikaze in front of us. 4 hits for 8,000. I think that's more. I think that would be more than 8,000. I think that was closer to. I guess 8,000 makes sense. A little over 8,000 makes sense. Since it's 2,000 shots per hit. And so, by actually using armor piercing, we're doing more damage, as I said, than we would by doing just explosive. And so you saw that we just destroyed a turret. So you don't need to have the high explosive to do damage to modules, especially when the shells do so much damage in general. Since when doing damage to modules, you do overpen damage anyways. And so to destroy or doing overpen damage, no matter where you hit, you can't actually take out a direct hit to a gun will take out a gun, direct hit to a torpedo can take out a torpedo, that sort of thing. And you're going to do overpen damage no matter what. Now, it's the longer ranges where this it's a little bit more difficult. I mean, yeah, you have 6 guns, so you have a faster reload and supposedly better accuracy. We get out of 4 shells, only 2 hit. 1 was a citadel, thankfully. And then for the rear gun, only 1 full pen for 7,000 damage. And there we go, 4 guns, only 1 was a citadel. Only 1 hit was a citadel. But at range, the ship isn't so accurate, so what you do is you use your concealment to get in close, and then you have more likely to get hits. So we're going to go ahead and throw torps out like that at Zuma. And then we're going to shoot at this one. Now that we're spotted. So this is the kind of thing we kept, we were hidden until we decided to shoot. We were trying to hold off, but I guess we kind of failed since we only got 4 overpens. But also by being hidden like this, we kept out of the way for the torpedoes, so none of the destroyers sent torpedoes our way. And there we go. 5 main battery hits out of 6 from this range. And 1 of them was a citadel. That seems to be the thing. And we get 2 torpedoes. Where, when I'm firing with these guns, 1 of them is a citadel. So it doesn't feel that accurate, like with Bourgogne or with Mecklenburg. 2, 3, 4, 5 of these shells are citadels, but for Incomparable, well, Loria, you just don't get citadels. You just don't get citadels. But for Incomparable and Shikishima, it just feels like, oh, 1 citadel out of all of them. And it just feels because of the dispersion. So. You kind of have, if you want more citadels, you're going to have to get, you have to know and get used to the range. I guess that might be the issue. I'm not used to the range because I don't use these super big guns all the time, and you're going to overpen at closer range. But that's kind of why I built it, so that I don't really care about overpenning. I mean, doing 2,000 damage per shell is still really good. And we hit the... And no, we missed the destroyer. So we're trying to help because the cruisers have been killed, and now just 1 destroyer needs to be killed before the regiments are saved. And there we go. That last one is killed, and now they will start retreating here shortly. There you go. The fire at the surface targets has ceased. The enemy is retreating. It's when you bring the enemy down to 3 of those ships down over there. So, kill 5. And here where I'm using the settings to so I can see my hydro range on the map. So what we're doing is a different tactic because we only have 6 guns. We are choosing a different tactic, which is to charge at them so that when they throw torpedoes, it's going to be too close. They wouldn't have enough time to arm. Unfortunately, that means that Harugumo's torps have plenty of time to arm. So we're going to take one on the nose, and that's it. Because this ship is so long that it's hard to dodge all the torpedoes.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, you know, they could have made the ship a little bit shorter, just a little bit. But the reason why it's made long is for the speed. So if you have a much longer ship, then it can technically go faster, longer and skinnier. And so that's what this ship was built for, to be a long, fast, light battleship. You can't compare it to anything because no one is this stupid to make a ship like this. Someone took out the Yoshino. Oh, you see, 10 kilometers. I was double checking that they were the 10-kilometer ring and not the 11-kilometer ring, which I believe the 11 kilometers for the depth charges, which we don't use. And here is where the tech troop. St. Vincent would be better because St. Vincent has the def AA. So I mean, that's one of the things with St. Vincent. It has different consumables. It has more guns. Torpedoes are in the front. That sort of thing. Torpedoes are harder to knock out. But Incomparable gets the bigger guns. So if you want those thump thump sounds, you go with Incomparable. And I believe the torpedoes were too far ahead. Yeah, the Azuma just stopped for those. And then a toggle. Can we hit a toggle? Yeah, we hit a toggle. And we hit a toggle for 2 overpens at half damage each. So that's why it's only 2,000 damage. Since the Atago gets the half damage modifier, so anything that hits Atago there is the damage is reduced by half. A lot of the AI, the special AI, get that. So I believe it works on the Fletchers there, and on Shores and Raptor and Aegis and Raptor Rescue, they get the reduced damage. And as an enemy, I believe it's only a toggle? I believe it's only a toggle. If anybody wants to correct me, then go ahead and correct me, but so far all I've seen the reduced damage on is a toggle. And when I say reduced damage, I don't mean like saturated. Oh look, a explosion from the Harugumo. So yeah, you can make them explode even from armor piercing. But yeah, when I say reduced damage, I don't mean hitting saturated parts of the ship. I mean, you get a Citadel, and it's half the damage of the Citadel damage. Yamagiri. And how many shells hit? And 3 shells hit. So that Yamagiri should have 6k health missing. Try and throw some torpedoes. Yamagiri was not staying in the smoke. He was running out. He's not coming out with us. He was going that way. Oh well. Oh, 5 shell hits for 10k damage. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And Azuma. Azuma. Oh well. No, three full pens and an overpen for 13k. Not bad, I guess. But the one thing about once you come up, that there is no Yoshinos. There's only the one Yoshino. 1, 2, 3. 3 Yoshinos on the map total. So that means less torpedoes from cruisers than in the tiers 8 and lower one. And so more torpedoes from the destroyers, but I guess the scary thing is those destroyers have the rapid firing high damage guns. So we're going to leave that Yamagiri for someone else. We're already at 245k damage. It's okay-ish. And we are going to high explosive the aerodrome, just so you can kind of see the high explosive, how it's not so good. Like there, that's 11k with half the turrets. Not half, like 2/3 of the turrets. The high explosive, as I mentioned before, it's not improved, so it's just your standard battleship high explosive. Meaning that, yeah, it's there, 17k. It's not that much damage to a target, especially the aerodromes that take more damage from high explosive. It's just not that much damage. So there you go, 5-star, 246k, 2 kills for Citadels, only 4 Citadels, and we're not even that high up on the team, and we had 212 from our armor piercing, and yeah, it's 212 from our armor piercing. We got 2 torpedo hits, and the secondary battery, of course, 7k, so that gets us to 240k. And see, 10 shell hits was 2,900. It's not worth it. Like, Conqueror, on the other hand, can have a single aerodrome with 1 salvo. So, that's why I wasn't too wowed with the Incomparable, and wasn't like, oh, I need to get this. It's just, it's another ship. So, with that, we will go on to the skills I used. We're going to go to the Tier 7 British battleship Nelson. Just to go over, because I think it... Yeah, so, a little bit, let's redistribute. No. No, we won't redistribute. We're going to change commanders. Let's see. You don't have anything. So, what did I do? We don't need the gun feeder. So, we went with emergency repair specialist. Did I have priority target? I don't remember if I had priority target. I mean, the 2 is dealer's choice. Do you want grease the gears? You want brisk? Do you want vigilance? Or do you want priority? Well, actually, you don't do vigilance, because you already have the 3-kilometer torpedo with your thing. So it's priority target, brisk, or grease the gears. I mean, I generally prefer getting guns on target first. We have the speed boost if we want to go fast. After that, it's adrenaline rush. We have fire prevention, because we don't want a lot of fires, but we do want Furious. Do I have Furious? I know I had super heavy AP. So, and then we did emergency repair a specialist for that. Okay. So there we go. This is the skills I used for. I mean the two is it was either this or pretty sure it was trying to grease the gears. Anyways, this is so that your repair and your heal come off cooldown a little bit faster. And you don't need gun feeder because you're only shooting armor piercing. You don't need demolition expert because you're only shooting armor piercing. Don't really need incoming fire alert, and your guns are pretty big. That I mean, you could take this for torpedo survivability, but as you saw, we didn't really use our torpedoes. Might have been our play mistake, but yeah, we're just mostly focused on guns. Grease the gears because to get those turrets turning a little bit faster. The brisk is another option if you really want to go fast, but you want to be shooting most of the time, so that's why we don't really do brisk. And then priority target is if you want to know if things are looking at you, but you can always assume that things are looking at you and then play around that way. Super heavy AP shells because your AP damage is plus 7.5. You're reducing fire and flood damage, but increasing fire and flooding extinguishing time, which helps with Furious because then you just keep the Furious skill active for longer. And with the super heal, you don't really worry about the damage from fire and flooding because you can just heal it back. You have Adrenaline Rush, so as the ticks go down, you can get more faster reload. And then you have Emergency Repair Expert because that brings you up one more heal. And you want that one extra heal. And then Fire Prevention Expert because while we want a fire, we don't want 4. We want to have the fires a little bit more controlled. If you feel more comfortable, you could. You're not going to get 2 million potential, so don't worry about that. Basics of survive. Well, you already said we want to have it more. The other option would be concealment expert, so you get in closer. Because the concealment is like 13 kilometers. With that, it's 12 or 13 kilometers, which at 12, 13 kilometers, you're already at cruiser concealment, like heavy cruiser concealment. So I was like, might as well just keep it like that. Don't really need to go any more concealment. If you're playing PvP, then I can see wanting to get concealment down even further. As for equipment, it would be aiming systems. So, I don't know why I think I was just memeing with secondaries. So, it's just the same thing with, I think, instead of damage, you do steering gears. So, I mean, Nelson actually might want the propulsion mod, but because Incomparable can't take the propulsion mod, you do steering gears. Steering gears, I guess you could do damage control system, but steering gears. The reason why you don't really care about having these, the damage control is because you have the super heal. You're going to heal it all back anyways. The only thing that it would do is instead of 1 fire, you can heal back 2 fires, and so that's the only reason why you would take those if you want to just take more fires. So that's Incomparable. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. That I do hope to see you again soon when I release the next Klingon video with the updates of what happened with the current PTS. That said, have a good one.